Mare brutally assaulted by a BJP MLA is still awaiting justice. Shaktiman's foot was amputated to save its life, but the brute MLA who did this, Ganesh Joshi, has been arrested. But this was only after BJP minister at the centre, Maneka Gandhi, wrote to the DGP asking for stern action, and of course the media was up in arms about it. But the big question is this: why hasn't the BJP expelled this man from their party? This despite the fact that Maneka Gandhi had also appealed to the top leadership of the party to sack him. Meanwhile, the Joshi camp has now claimed he wasn't the culprit, but it was someone else who pulled the horse down. They claim it's all a political conspiracy. Take a look at these reactions.
मुझे इसमें कोई सरप्राइज नहीं हुआ कि उनकी गिरफ्तारी हुई, क्योंकि जिस तरीके से पिछले 4 दिनों से ये सरकार एक तरफा प्रचार कर रही है, लीगली जो लॉ ने कोर्स लेना था वो लेगा ही उनकी गिरफ्तारी। लेकिन हमें बिल्कुल भी चिंता नहीं है, क्योंकि हमें पता है कि वो बिल्कुल निर्दोष हैं। बहुत सारी मीडिया क्लिप्स जो बहुत सारे लोगों ने शेयर किए हैं, उसमें साफ साबित हो रहा है कि इस पूरे घटनाक्रम में उनका कोई दोष नहीं था। लेकिन अफसोस कि हम इस घोड़े की राजनीति में इतने खो गए हैं। मैं किसी राजनीतिक पार्टी की मेंबर नहीं हूं, लेकिन हम इस राजनीति में इतने खो गए हैं घोड़े के ऊपर चढ़ के कि हम भूल गए हैं कि असली जो मुद्दे हैं उनको, मतलब ये बहुत सोची समझी एक साजिश है हरीश रावत जी की सरकार की सही इश्यू से डिफ्लेक्ट करने के लिए। ये सब हमारा परिवार है और सबको विश्वास है कि जल्दी ही सारे मामले का जो नतीजा निकलेगा वो हमारे फेवर में ही होगा।
आज देखा गया कि एक होटल से बाहर वो अपने नेताओं को मिलने के लिए जा रहे थे, उनको गिरफ्तार कर लिया है। सदन के सम्मानित जो विधायक हैं उनको गुंडे बदमाशों की तरह से चारों तरफ से गाड़ियों से घेरा। सिविल ड्रेस में कुछ लोग आए हैं, वो पुलिस थी या गुंडे थे ये अभी तक पता नहीं है, क्योंकि हरीश रावत जी को ये आशंका है कि उनके सरकार के खिलाफ मत विभाजन की मांग हो सकती है। भाई ये हमारा फंडामेंटल राइट है, हम मत विभाजन क्यों नहीं मांगेंगे? 10 बार मांगेंगे, सरकार रहे या जाए इससे मतलब नहीं, ये विपक्ष का फंडामेंटल राइट है। तो उस राइट का वायोलेशन करने के लिए उन्होंने समझा है कि एक विधायक कम कर दो, लेकिन इससे हम घबराने वाले नहीं हैं।
All right, joining us right now on News Point, Maneka Gandhi. She's representing the People for Animals NGO. She's a lawyer as well. Professor Madhav Nalpat, editorial director of the Sunday Guardian. Both of them joining me in the studio. Also with us, Amit Malviya, national spokesperson of the BJP, as well as Sharan Singh Sapra, spokesperson of the Congress Party. He joins us from Mumbai. Thank you all for being here. I'd like to start with Professor Nalpat. Professor Nalpat, the evidence is pretty clear-cut. This right here is Ganesh Joshi, who's beating the horse up with a stick in his hand. He comes on NewsX, he says, I wasn't even there. Now he's trying to give an angle, a political one, saying it's a political conspiracy. Are we supposed to believe this man?
Well, that's a standard excuse of all people, and I'm delighted that the BJP and the Minister Maneka Gandhi has made it very clear that whoever is guilty should be brought to book, whether it's the BJP or not, because you cannot have a situation in which people of the ruling party at the centre get a feeling that they are immune from any kind of action. This is a very healthy precedent that's been set by the BJP, and I hope it's going to be followed in every future case as well.
Now, you also seen, Ambika, the video footage, of course. We saw the daughter of Ganesh Joshi come out and say there are various media clips where Ganesh Joshi purportedly is not even there. Now, I don't know what clip she is talking about, but this clip is self-explanatory.
Right, of course, every single clip, when you look at it, he basically took a constable's lathi, which is shocking in itself, and then starts hitting this animal. And our volunteers who are from Uttarakhand, our Uttarakhand head, you know, they have reliably learned this from police sources. We found out about this incident immediately when it happened. Our NGO got calls saying this incident had happened, and we found out about it, and we immediately helped the government as much as we could. We've even offered our shelter where this animal can live for the rest of his life. But the point before us really here today, and one thing that both the BJP, the Congress, and every single person, political person must accept, is that, you know, this horse isn't gonna, you know, his quality of life is completely zero. You know, here was a horse who was valiantly serving the nation, and he was brutally attacked. This was an animal who was reined in. He had a bit in his mouth. He was being pulled back. There was nothing he could do. You know, anyone who attacks an animal who is you know, pulled valiantly serving the nation, and he was brutally attacked. This was an animal who was reined in. He had a bit in his mouth. He was being pulled back. There was nothing he could do. You know, anyone who attacks an animal who is you know, pulled back in this position is nothing but a coward. And we're very, very happy that the police has taken action and the police has arrested this man. and you know, we're really
Do
praying.
you really buy, before I go on to my political guest, do you really buy the argument and the criticism coming in for the police saying that they perhaps inconvenienced Mr. Ganesh Joshi in a way, they took him away from a hotel, he was going to meet his cadres? Do you think that really matters if he's caught on tape doing this heinous crime, I would call it, nothing less than that? Does it matter if he suffers a little bit of inconvenience himself?
You know, let me put it like this. This horse may not survive. This animal may not live. He was brutally attacked. He was caught off guard. Had he not been reined in and Mr. Joshi had gone at him with a stick, I don't think Mr. Joshi would be okay right now.
All right.
Today, Mr. Joshi, I honestly, and you know, I would like to bring up a small point later if you give me an opportunity as well, which is that, you know, Shaktiman he has one thing going in his favor. And the fact is that, you know, he's a police horse. And so, you know, the other sections of the IPC have been applicable, which is namely, you know, 332 and 353. And so he was arrested. These two sections are non-bailable. But let me tell you, there is no section when it comes to animal cruelty that is non-bailable, which meant that if this was any other horse and any other person went up to this animal with a stick and started beating this animal, nothing would happen.
You know, I want to go across to Mr. Malviya for a bit. Now, Mr. Malviya, your own minister at the centre, Maneka Gandhi, one of the leading animal rights activists in the country, who's also a minister, has implored your top leadership to sack this man Ganesh Joshi. Till now, we haven't heard anything from the party. In fact, party members coming out and backing Ganesh Joshi to the hill. The man himself is saying that I wasn't even there, which is very clearly a lie, sir. If you see the footage, Mr. Joshi with stick in hand is completely brutalizing the animal. Why has been no action taken against Mr. Joshi by the party till now? Mr. Malviya.
Look, it's rather unfortunate that Shaktiman met with this unfortunate accident and has lost his limb.
I'm sorry,
and
sir, it's not an accident.
rendered him
Mr. Malviya,
incapacitated for the rest of his service life.
It's not an accident, Mr. Malviya.
Can you please let me make my point?
It's not an accident.
Can you please let me make my point?
Of course, but you're calling it an
No,
accident,
will
but
you
it's
please
not.
let me make my point?
No, you
the
can
fact
make your point,
is
but
that
you
it
can't
was
listen
an
to people.
unfortunate accident because
It is not an
MLA
accident.
Joshi did not
You
assault
cannot
the
rely
horse.
on a national
The
channel.
available clips which are there do not indicate any kind of assault. What did happen there was this crowd which had gathered, and the Uttarakhand government in its wisdom thought it appropriate to use a mounted cavalry to disperse this crowd, which is really not the norm. And the government must be questioned on why they use the mounted cavalry in a situation like this, where in this crowd where the jostling was happened, the horse was retreating back and unfortunately stepped on a spot which made him twist his leg, and he unfortunately broke his leg.
Mr.
That
Malviya.
clip is available for people to see all over the internet. We are going to shortly release
Don't
the clip
twist the
through
story
our
now.
official channels formally
Okay.
for everybody to see.
Okay.
This
Mr.
media
Malviya, are
trial
you
that has
saying,
gone
sir-
on of MLA Joshi is unfortunately not helping anybody.
Okay,
It is
Mr.
not
Malviya,
helping
can
the
I please
cause of
ask you a
justice
question
for
now?
Shaktiman. It is certainly not helping the credibility of those who are accusing the MLA of assaulting the animal in this particular situation.
Mr.
I'm
Malviya-
sorry, I'm not going to take this you know, as somebody calling it a lie or calling it a brutal
Okay,
assault.
Mr.
which is
Malviya,
the truth.
do you
This is a
deny-
really unfortunate accident. And
Mr. Malviya, do you deny the footage that we and countless other media outlets are playing right now? Do you deny that Mr. Joshi has a big stick in his hand and he's attacking a horse? Are you denying
I
that?
absolutely deny the charges that various media houses have leveled, saying that Mr. Joshi assaulted the horse that led to his limb being fractured.
No, are you
and
denying he
finally had to
assaulted
be
a horse?
amputated.
Forget how
I
he
deny
broke his
that
leg.
fact.
Mr. Charan Singh
Because
Thapar.
that is just part of the truth.
No,
While
Mr.
Joshi
Malviya, are you
was there,
denying the
he
footage we're
probably
running
also
on our
had
channel
stick in
right
his
now,
hand,
sir?
But he did not assault the
That's what-
animal.
Are you denying what is being run
this
on our
is the
screens
problem
right
with
now?
the
It's
BJP
video
leaders.
footage, and trust me, sir, we don't
Absolutely,
doctor
I
video.
deny that. That is only part of the story.
This is-
We are going to release a clip, as I
This
said,
is-
which
this
is
is
going to
the
show
problem with
what
Charan Singh
exactly
Thapar wants to come in.
happened.
Mr. Thapar, please come in here.
Shaktiman actually get his
They are
leg in
the
the wrong
lawmakers.
spot
Charan Singh
and
Thapar.
could
They are
not
becoming-
extradite himself and
They
actually
are the
had to break
lawmakers.
his
They are
limb.
now becoming the lawbreakers.
Mr. Sapra, go ahead.
Mr. Malviya, you have to
I'm
listen.
sorry.
Please keep quiet. Your time is over. Mr. Malviya, this is the problem with the BJP leaders, that they don't want to listen anything. They don't want to listen anything negative against the BJP. The whole nation has seen that how your MLA was hitting the horse, or he was trying to threaten the horse. Today, Shaktiman has lost his leg and his job. What would have happened if the same treatment would have given to your Gopal Joshi? What would have he gone through? You have to understand that. Why he should not be arrested? Why a case of 353 IPC code should not be registered? Because that horse was on a police duty. He has tried to stop a government servant from executing or discharging his duty. The case should have been filed yesterday. He has been picked today. In fact, the government has been little lenient in picking him up today. He would have been immediately picked up because the entire nation has seen that he has been taking a stick and he has been hitting the horse. He has been threatening the horse. How can you get rid of this? Your union minister Maneka Gandhi has demanded expulsion. Amit Shah is not ready to listen to her. What is happening in BJP? This
Okay,
is
I just want to get back my studio guests in for a bit now.
BJP
Mr.
in this
Sapra.
country.
Okay, Mr. Sapra,
Can I
just
come
give
in?
me a moment here. Just give me a
I
moment.
must be allowed to respond to
Mr.
that.
Malviya, you will be given a chance to respond. I promise you that. Just please hold your peace for a couple of seconds. Now, Maneka Gandhi is a union minister, Professor Nalpat. She is also from the BJP. In fact, Mr. Malviya can accuse the media all he wants, really, to perhaps be biased or trying to doctor footage. Of course, we haven't done that. Maneka Gandhi saw the footage and she was appalled as well. She's asked not only the DGP for stern action, which we saw today, but she's asked her own party to act against this man. In her words, and I quote her now, this man, Ganesh Joshi, the MLA from Dehradun, has brought disrepute to the party. Now, either Mr. Malviya is not in consonance with what his own union minister is saying, or something very huge that we're all missing here.
Well, Mr. Malviya says that the horse basically broke its own leg.
Can I come in?
Now, personally, that sounds a little odd to me, a well-trained horse having, quote, accidentally broken its own leg. I'd like to repeat what I said. Let me tell you that the Prime Minister Modi chose Mrs. Maneka Gandhi, and I think Prime Minister Modi has chosen a team very wisely, and I have full confidence in the Prime Minister's wisdom. And so for that reason, I would say it is unfair of Mr. Malviya to in effect say that the minister of his own government is talking nonsense, because that's what he's alleging here. And the minister is not properly informed. The minister would have got all the means to inform herself as to what happened better than myself, yourself, or Mr. Malviya. And if the minister has come to the conclusion this horse has been brutally beaten by Mr. Joshi, I would go with that conclusion.
Ambika Nijjar, before I go back to Mr. Malviya, do you agree first of all with him that somehow, one second, Mr. Malviya, please give me a second with my other guests. I'll come to you. I promised you that, and I will come to you. Ambika, let me tell you one thing. Let me ask you one thing first of all. Mr. Malviya alleges that perhaps somehow Shaktiman broke his leg in an accident. Can you, looking at that footage, call that by any yardstick an accident?
No, actually, if I could just explain something, a horse is a prey animal. A horse is an animal that gets spooked very easily. So if you're going to go at a horse from the front with a stick and you're brandishing the stick and you're hitting the animal. Now, if someone came at me right now and started hitting me, my reaction would instantly be to move back. And then at that point, if I fall, whose fault is it? Is it my fault that I fell while I was moving back, or is it the fault of the person who was hitting me and the person who was causing me to move back? But you know, I just like to, again, just if I could just get a chance to ask both the Congress, the BJP and everyone one question. You know, since 1960, the fine in our Prevention of Cruelty to Animals Act has been 50 rupees. What are both of your political parties doing for so many years that you have not changed this fine? For so many years, animals have been beaten. Shaktiman is lucky that his case is on TV. He is lucky that the nation is watching him. He is lucky that a vet, one of the best equine vets, was flown in from Mumbai to come to Uttarakhand to operate him. He's getting a prosthetic limb. What are both of you and your political parties doing for the other Shaktimans of India? Is it not time that we have a Shaktiman Act? That both of your parties take a stand. Leave your political differences aside for just once. Leave your differences aside and focus on the people in the nation who need you. The most vulnerable section of the nation, you know, the animals, the poor, the children. In this session, in Parliament in April, will we see something from the both of you, or will we just see this?
Well, that question goes out to all, of course, politicians.
Yes.
Mr. Malviya, I promised you some time to rebut what Mr. Sapra has said and everyone else on the panel has said. Please go ahead, sir. Your time starts now.
Well, the point that I want to make is that we are quite cognizant of the comment that Mrs. Maneka Gandhi has made. But the point that I want to make is that we are quite cognizant of the comment that Mrs. Maneka Gandhi has made. But The fact remains that she probably was informed of what happened there through media reports, and that is only part of the truth. We are not going to take action or sacrifice our elected representative based on media trial. And the whole footage, if it is seen, it does indicate that it was an unfortunate accident. But my point is that why was a mounted cavalry being used
That means you want to
in
defy
a situation like this when
I'd like
it
to
should
use
not have been the
rather
case?
insensitive,
That is the question that everybody should be answering.
It doesn't matter what amount of cavalry was there.
I simply want to ask Mr. Malviya. No,
Hold on, Mr. Sabra, hold
Mr.
on.
Sabra, 1 minute, please.
1 minute, Mr. Sabra, 1 minute.
I want to ask Mr. Malviya, is it okay for an MLA in the BJP to brandish a lathi in this fashion and hit at animals and people in this fashion? Is this kind of behavior acceptable in any kind of party member? Far less a legislator. We are in a democracy. We are talking of people who talk to each other, who will argue with each other. And this kind of a use of a lathi, well, even if it did not touch anybody, in my view is completely inadmissible.
No, please answer that, Mr. Malviya. I think it's a very valid point. Can you answer that?
We are shifting the goalpost here. The point is that we are discussing whether the MLA assaulted the animal or not. The answer is that he isn't. And that is exactly what I'm telling. What is going on is media trial. And we cannot take decision on an elected representative based on what the media is showing. Because the truth is quite contrary to what the media is projecting.
There, sir. It's very clear that your MLA is wielding a big stick and attacking
and the other thing is, I'd like to ask everybody who's questioning this particular episode, on the same day, our Karyakartas and our former president in Kerala was assaulted by the CPIM. Has any media house actually bothered to project that or to talk about it? The fact is that our Karyakarta has been paralyzed and is battling for life. Has anybody raised this issue?
Mr. Malviya, now who's shifting goalposts here? Just because one wrong has been committed does not justify another that has been committed in Dehradun. I have completely out of time and I'm sorry for that. Mr. Malviya, thank you for joining us. Charan Singh Sapra, Ambika Nijjar, as well as Professor Nalpat. I'm completely short on time. We have to take a short break right now. We'll come back with Capital Stories. Stay tuned.